Hi, everyone, and welcome to this latest edition of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. I'm your beat reporter from Michigan State Spartans on SI, Aidan Champion. Michigan State gets its backup point guard with Divine Ugochukwu, who comes off his freshman season at Miami. Miami, of course, did not have a great year, and he wasn't a very impactful player. But if you watch his highlight reel, this is a guy who I think fits in real well with Michigan State. Isn't a great shooter, or at least didn't take a whole lot of attempts from outside last year. Not known for his shooting, but that's something that could improve. Only played 1 year so far. I know that's a big knock against him is his outside shooting, but as I said in a previous video where I kind of broke down his game and looked at how he would fit with Michigan State before he had even committed. Um, I essentially said that it's not a necessity, really. I mean, I know he didn't have a great shooting season last year, or at least it was streaky. Got a little better towards the end, but then fell off a bit in the tournament. But I think you've got enough shooters, and he's not going to start. He's going to be your backup point guard, and you'll have other shooters around him. So his job will be facilitating, and then he does a really good job at drawing contact, finishing through contact, getting to the lane. Great on defense. You know, um, he has a knack for being able to poke the ball free, um, and I think it's just a really good ad for Michigan State. It really is. I think he's a gritty guy. Um, he's got Spartan written all over him. And once again, another great portal ad for Tom Izzo was able to find, under the radar talent with Caleb Glenn from Florida Atlantic, Sam Fort or Trey Fort. Keep calling him Sam Fort because he's from Samford. Trey Fort from Samford, and now you got Ugochukwu, and I think you know Tom utilized the portal very well. I know a lot of people were getting frustrated when there was um, silence for a little bit there after the tournament, um, but Tom, for a guy who a lot of people get on about not utilizing the portal, well, he got you three guys at areas of your roster that needed to be addressed. And he filled those voids. Didn't overdo it. Didn't go and grab a bunch of transfers. Um, didn't need to. Did just enough. And I think you're sitting in a really good position now. Probably not going to be any more transfer commits, but don't think there needs to be. I think you got enough depth um, all across the board, and you got guys who you can play small ball, you can play a traditional lineup, and you know, just like that. I think this team, there's no really glaring issues. If you want to, point out any, I guess it'd be you don't have a go-to scorer, but that was the concern going into last year as well, and things worked out pretty well. So, um, kudos to Tom Izzo again for uh, being able to adapt and adjust with the times. Did use the portal, used it just enough, and I think fans should be hopeful about next season. I know, I mean, these weren't big name additions, but you know, I think they were. still solid. They're still solid guys that can really contribute. Um, and it's not like last year's team was full of stars either. Didn't have a single player make first or second team all conference. So, um, and when you're being coached by Tom Izzo can make any player great. Okay, so I wouldn't worry about the big names. Um, and you know, like I said, Tom did what he needed to do and filled those voids, addressed areas of need, and yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a whole much you can really knock him for. So Ugochukwu coming to East Lansing, going to be a solid backup point guard for this team. Obviously, Jeremy Fears will be your starter. Um, but now you got an option behind him. You won't have to rely on a non um, guy who isn't a primary point guard like Kurt Ting or Trey Ford. Um, so there you have it. Tom Izzo, three transfer commits this spring, and and pretty good ones. I think fans should be pleased. There's going to be some that aren't, but that's always going to be the case. So, as always, thank you, everyone. And hope you all have a great rest of your week. Thanks.